Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this beautiful unicorn shaker cake topper. This is going to be a very detailed tutorial because I want to make the process as easy as possible for you to follow, and my goal is to help you create your own shaker cake topper successfully even on your first try. This is the design I have in Cricut Design Space, and I'm going to show you how to recreate it from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and upload my unicorn face that I've been using. And if you do want the same unicorn face, I have it in the link in the description below. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find a shape, and this is going to be a circle, and I'm going to resize it to 5 inches since my design space settings are currently set to each inches. And then I'll duplicate the circle because we'll need a second copy later in the process. Before recreating the offset, I like to change the color. This is not necessary, but I just like it to avoid confusion. So I'm going to add an offset, and I will set this to minus 0.510. As you can see, this creates the inner circle. Next, I'll change the gray back to black and select both shapes and click slice. After slicing, I will delete the pieces I don't need. That's the gray circle and the small black circle. This leaves me with a frame that I need for the shaker. Now I will create another offset. This time I will set it to minus 0.139 to create a smaller inner border. Okay, so I'm now going to change the colors. For the inner border, I'm going to change it to white, and the outer gray color, I'm going to change it to like a teal color, something similar to what I currently have. And this is where I used to get confused, so I'll show you how it would look like. So the blue is the outer offset and the white is the inner offset. The next thing I did, I downloaded this image background from Canva to add a pop of color to the shaker cake topper. So remember the circle that we duplicated earlier? We're going to use that to create the background piece for the shaker. So the first thing I'm going to do is place the circle on top of the image and make sure it's positioned in front. Then I select both the circle and the image, and then I click slice. This will cut the image into the exact circle shape we need for the shaker background. After slicing, of course, I delete the unwanted pieces and keep the circle background. You also notice that I still have the black circle. I'm going to use that for the acetate template, so I'll change that to gray. And then I will move the pattern background behind the offset by selecting send to back, just to give me a clear idea of how that will look like to give you. And as for the offset, I don't need to move it because it will sit on top of the background. As long as all of the layers are the same size and aligned correctly, everything will fit perfectly. Next, I'm going to ungroup the unicorn design because I want to separate the eyelashes. I will attach those later as individual pieces for a cleaner layered effect. I'm also going to delete the small heart shapes since I won't be using them in this design. And once I've removed everything I don't need, I'll select the remaining pieces and group them back together. So I've changed the background color, and I will create an offset for the unicorn face. So really the offset size is up to you, but make sure it's large enough to eliminate any small cutouts. If the offset still has tiny gaps, your Cricut will try to cut those out, which is something we want to avoid. As you can see, this happened here. So I will create another offset to make it slightly larger. If the gap is still there, then you can click contour and choose hide all contours and then click apply. This removes any unwanted cut lines and gives you a solid shape, one solid shape. So I'll change the offset color to white. Next thing, I'm going to assemble the design, so I'll position the unicorn face on top of the circular base. I've already placed the eyelashes, but feel free to adjust their position or resize them until you're happy with how they look. Next, I'll bring the unicorn horn to the front and position it to where I want it. And for this part, don't be afraid to experiment with the placement. There's no right or wrong way. This is simply the layout I chose for my cake topper. So finally, I'll select the entire unicorn design and create one more offset. This will become the main background layer for the whole design, and I'll change its color to purple. Next, I search for the number 3 in the main images tab, and this is the design I decided to use. Of course, you can choose any number or font that matches your theme. So once I added it to my canvas, I created 2 additional offsets to give the number a layered look. Then I changed the colors of each layer to match the rest of my cake topper. Okay, next I added my daughter's name. I chose a font and color that matched the rest of my design, but feel free to customize yours to suit your own theme. I then position the name at the top of the cake topper. This layer will sit on top of the acetate, so make sure it's placed where you would like it before cutting, really, just to have an idea of the size. I also moved the eyelashes slightly lower to leave enough room for the name, but don't worry too much about copying my exact layout, feel free. For example, instead of placing the name directly on the topper, you could use a banner, and to do that, simply go to Images tab, search for a banner, and choose one that you like. You can then add the name or number to the banner and position it anywhere on your design. That's another great option if you're looking for a different style. But of course, for this tutorial, I'm going to stick with my original design because it's simple, quick, and I really like how it looks. While reviewing this design, I noticed a few small unwanted shapes that came with the image file. These aren't part of the design, so I'm going to delete them before moving on. So if you're using the same file, just double check your design for any extra pieces and remove them if needed. So before cutting, I recommend attaching some of the smaller pieces together. For example, the unicorn horn has several small sections, and by attaching those pieces, your Cricut will then cut them in the correct position on the same mat, making assembly much easier later on. Now for my favorite part of this project, since I didn't have any shaker confetti on hand, I decided to make my own. It's a simple way to save money and customize the colors to match your design. So I used the number 3 that I had already created and duplicated it several times. Then I changed the colors to match my theme. So I chose purple, teal, pink, but you can choose any colors you like. I also added a few heart shapes and duplicated those in the same colors. Before making lots of copies, I like to place a few shapes inside the shaker area just to check that they're the right size, and so you want them to move around freely inside the shaker without looking too large. So once I was happy with the size, I duplicated both the numbers and the heart shapes until I had enough confetti pieces. So feel free, you can even just create your own messages, say maybe happy birthday or write the person's name or anniversary, anything really. That's why I like customizing the confetti. Once I was happy with the design, I clicked make and sent it to my Cricut to cut. Unfortunately, I lost the footage of the cutting process, but I still wanted to show you the cardstock I used for this project. I matched the cardstock colors to the colors I used in my design space file. As you can see, I have all the colored cardstock ready for each layer of the cake topper. For the glitter layers, I use glitter cardstock that I purchased from the range here in the UK. It cuts beautifully and adds a lovely sparkle to the finished cake topper. For the shaker background, I printed the design first, then cut it using my Cricut machine. For all the cardstock layers, I selected medium cardstock as my material setting. For the acetate layer, I went into browser materials and searched for acetate to find the correct setting. This is the option that I went for, and the Cricut will usually pass over the acetate twice, so there's no need to change anything manually. So this is the acetate that I'll be using for my project, and I purchased this on the range in the UK. So I'll get one piece of my acetate and then I'll cut out a shape. Just eyeballing this just to make sure that this would be the correct size of the acetate shape that I need, which is the round circle. Next, I'm going to use my weeding pen. This helps me lift and remove the protective layer of the acetate more easily, since it has a fine sharp tip that's perfect for picking up delicate edges. So I'll just peel this off nice and clean. So this is what we want to place on the mat. Once it's ready, I secured it firmly onto the mat, ensuring that it's very sticky so it doesn't shift during cutting. I also make sure my blade is sharp enough to achieve a clean cut. This machine will usually cut through the acetate twice, but before unloading the mat, I like to do a quick check to see if it has cut through properly. Since this is my first time working with acetate, I just want to make sure everything is cutting as expected. And as you can see, it didn't cut all the way through on the first pass, so I ran it through the machine a second time. Okay, and after the second cut, I checked again before unloading the mat, and this time it cut through perfectly. Yep, I think so. Then I'm going to unload the mat, and this is exactly what I was looking for, a clean, precise cut. Next, I'll cut the black value vinyl that I'll be using for the eyelashes and the ears. So for the confetti, these are the colors I'll be using. Again, I got this from the range, and then I'll put this through to cut the heart shapes and the number 3. Now that all the pieces are cut out, I've placed them into a bag so I don't lose or mix anything up because they're so small. The next step is my favorite part, where we're going to start assembling the shaker cake topper and bring the whole design together. For the ears and the eyelashes, I use black vinyl because it makes them much easier to stick onto both the acetate and the white cardstock. Next, I'm using foam tape around the shaker background. This will create the raised edge needed for the shaker effect and help seal the layers together. I'm using these foam tapes because they're flexible and easy to work with. To make them easier to apply, I cut the foam tape in half so I could place it more precisely around the edges of the design. Next, I'll trim off any excessive bits that may have gone over the edges to keep everything neat and tidy. Next, I added the confetti into the topper. So I placed it inside the shaker area, but I have to admit I made a mistake at this stage. I'm not sure why, but I applied the foam tape before properly planning the confetti movement. I later realized that this meant the confetti wouldn't move freely inside the shaker as intended. I also added some glitter that I had bought from the store to fill the space. Just in case you do have any gaps, just make sure you either use more foam tape to cover up the gap if you're using glitter, or any confetti that will, to prevent it from spilling. So I carefully took off the sticky tabs from the shaker cake topper. So originally my plan was to place elements like the number or name on top of the foam tape inside the shaker area, but I completely forgot to do that during assembly. Another thing I missed was flipping the confetti pieces, so I forgot to turn them over. So instead the colorful side showing, some of them ended up showing the white backing, so my colors were not as I wanted. So the cake topper wasn't as I wanted it to be, because the colors, as you can see, I forgot to flip them around. Okay, so after placing on my acetate on top, I just want to get my offset. If you remember the offsets that were created in our design, so this is the blue offset, so this was the bigger one. Next, I'll apply some tacky glue and carefully place the piece onto the acetate, making sure it's aligned with the double-sided tape. Okay, so once this is in position, I'll gently press it down with my hand to ensure everything is securely bonded. Now I'll apply glue to the white inner offset and layer it onto the blue outer offset, making sure the edges are nicely aligned. For the outer ears, I'll be using Cricut transfer tape, but before applying them, I want to make sure the unicorn backing is perfectly aligned with the outer offset, so this helps ensure the ears are positioned correctly on the backing and on the right side. So next, I'll use the transfer tape and then attach the outer ears onto the backing. Next, I will attach the pink outer ears. I'll apply a small amount of glue and use my tweezers to place each piece accurately onto the cardstock. Now it's time to add the gold horn. I'll apply glue to the back of the cutout. Position it carefully and gently press it down, making sure it's securely attached. So I'll give everything one final press to ensure all the layers are firmly adhered. Alright, next I'll get my foam tape and then split this into half just to make sure I'm getting the right sizes that I need for the backing. So, and then I'll place that on and then peel it off and then place the half of the unicorn top onto the backing tape, onto the backing, stick it onto the foam tape. Next, I will stick her name onto the front of the cake topper that's on top of the acetate, and then I will make sure that everything is aligned together perfectly, and then I'll also use foam tape to stick on the number 3 on top of the cake topper. And I really like how this turned out. I'll just show you, this is the one I made for her brother. They share the same birthday and he's into football and my daughter is into unicorns. So if you do like a tutorial on the football one, please do let me know. And honestly, I'm happy how this turned out. Of course, with a few errors, you know, we learn from our mistakes, and I'll make sure next time I'm doing something similar, I'll avoid these mistakes. Yeah, but I really like how it turned out, and hopefully you've learned something today. And if you do have any questions or if you're not sure about anything, please do send me a message on my Facebook and I'll be happy to help. So onto the last bit, of course, is I'll use my hot glue gun and then stick the skewers on, and this is our final look. Honestly, I'm so happy with how this turned out. This is my second attempt, and this is one project that I've always wanted to make. I mean, I've looked at different tutorials. At first, I didn't even know what acetate was. I didn't know anything to do with shaker cake toppers, but you know, I promised myself that I have to learn something every week. So this is one of the projects I made, and since it was my daughter's birthday, it gave me the opportunity to put it to hand, you know, so you know, to create something for you guys to learn as well. So I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment.